Hey there, Spiral Gang! Two-Tone back, and actually with some good news, some actually unique Spiral deck building experience. And this is a two-tone special. I'm the one who came up with this, though some people in the OCG have been doing it after I discovered the combo. So it's the Allure Queen cards. Konami kind of snuck this into the latest pack. They didn't announce it. They announced like three other archetypes or whatever going into it, but not the Allure Queens because there's not that many of them. There's only like four new cards. I'm pretty sure, right? There's Golden Allure Queen, Chaos Allure Queen, the Field Spell, and the Continuous Spell, right? The other Allure Queen monsters are all whatever they are. They're old, crappy archetypes from way back in the Yugi Boomer days. If you're familiar with like Mystic Swordsman level 2, or the Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman, those were all level cards, and the level mechanic was largely a complete failure. There was like a handful of playable ones that were good on their own, and the Allure Queens were not that. They're basically just really bad relinquished style monsters. They can equip monsters that have the same or lower level to them, which means I don't even think they can equip like Xyz or Link monsters. They got like that Apocalypse Towers restriction of only working on leveled monsters. But that's a sidetrack. The important thing here is they released new cards and didn't template them in a way that stops me, a Spiral player, from abusing the hell out of them. So the important cards in this archetype are Allure Dance, because this searches the field spell, Allure Palace, the truly broken card. So Allure Palace is a very interesting card. It has the rare thrice per turn effect to discard a card and add an Allure Queen monster from deck to hand. This lets you kind of set up a little chain sequence where you add two Allure Queens, discard one with Chaos, equip it to Chaos, that special summons the other one out of the deck, and then you have two bodies on the field, and you send the one that's equipped to do this effect. You can send this card equipped with a card by its own effect to the graveyard, special summon one spellcaster monster with 1500 or less attack from your hand or deck. Well, I'll be damned, Master Plan is a spellcaster monster with 1200 attack, and that is less than 1500. So what this card functionally reads is discard two cards, emergency teleport Master Plan from the deck to the field, and also you have an extra body laying around to link her off with. So what this means is this is, no joke, complete full combo. Everything about it is full combo. If you access Allure Palace and it resolves and you get your monster effects, it is a complete full combo, and it doesn't even use your normal summon. That's maybe the nicest thing of all about it. So, like, you can bait stuff with like normal summon quick fix, get it impermed, activate Allure Palace, get it ashed, and then, or if they ash the first activation, then you can activate it two more times because it's 3 times per turn. You only need to get 2 in hand. It's really good at baiting certain interactions, and it's very powerful. And maybe the most important thing of all about this archetype is it does not require the extra deck. So if you've seen with like Snake Eyes, and you've seen with even Dangers needing Curious, or Kashtira, well, Kashtira kind of works on its own, but isn't one card combo. Stuff like the Makonko combo I showed way long time ago, like where you need Isolde and all that jazz. This you can just toss into any combo you want, period. You can throw this into any deck I've shown you in the past. And I'm going to show you a very kooky combo. Bear with me, this is not what I suggest everyone do. I just saw that they also kind of stealth-released Chiroza, who I happen to get a Royal Rare version of it because I'm goated. And this is like a really funny card that gives Spiral access to rank 4 and tuners very easily because it can send a Link monster and a Spellcaster monster. Ooh, I wonder where I'm going to get those. Yeah, so I'm just going to throw together a kind of funny combo using this. Also with a combo that I've been goofing around with in my Snake Eyes variant, using Proxy F Magician to access Berthamit and DMLs. But that's just the combo I'm going to show you today because it's what I've been messing around with and I had it on hand. Any combo that you like or prefer that I've shown you in the past that isn't like strictly agnostic to these cards for some reason, you can just splash these cards in and do it, right? This does everything Spiral does. Anyhow, that's enough chatting about these crazy old legacy retrains. Let's actually show the combo off and show you how it really works. Alright, so here we are back against our good friend, the Punching Bag, the Monarch solo mode bot. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get it started. So I want to show you that Allure Dance also does something besides just search the field spell, and we'll show you that near the end. But, so what this main thing this does is, though, add Allure Palace to the hand. Now, what you're going to do is activate Allure Palace, discard a card. Let's just discard Super Agent. Doesn't really matter. He's not necessary to the combo. And we'll add a name. Now, this is the important thing. Don't get caught up. Do not special summon this to the field because this will special summon it to your opponent's field. Very silly stuff. So press no and add it to hand. You're going to do this for both Chaos Allure Queen and any of the Allure Queen names. It doesn't really matter which one. They all kind of do the same thing. You just need one of each. Normally, I would activate Allure Palace again to discard a card and add Allure Queen, but this is what your hand would look like anyhow. You add Allure Queen and Chaos Allure Queen. That's all. So now, let's go ahead and use the effect. Activate Chaos Allure Queen, discard, special summon. Then you're going to... Ooh, it's got influence on it, but you equip your Allure Queen that you searched. And in doing so, this triggers her effect to special summon one to the field. Ta-da! Now, Allure Palace gives this the effect. As you can see, this is being given the effect by Allure Palace to send itself to the graveyard to special summon out a spellcaster with 1500 or less attack. It is that easy. That's it. That's everything. That's the combo. And the way it it's also kind of sort of plays through Bestials. Not really, because they could Bestial the Allure Queen that you're trying to equip. But if they don't do that, then you can like Nightmare Goblin or Barricade Board Blocker if you don't want to play Nightmare Goblin. But I like Goblin for corner case scenarios. So you go Master Plan, Chain Block, obviously, discard your Rescue Mission, and there's never an opportunity for a Bestial to hit Master Plan, and you've got a Rescue Mission in Graveyard. It's that simple. Alright, so you can add your Quick Fix, and your Field Spell. And at this point, I'm just going to show you the combo, but this is it, right? This is the stuff that matters. From this point on, you can basically do any Spiral combo I've ever shown you. You've got Master Plan in Graveyard, you got a Quick Fix hitting the field, you've got an extra body to link it off with, you've got enough spell cards in rotation to enable Celine. Plenty of spell cards. I mean, there's you naturally get 4 spell cards in rotation because you have Master Plan, Searching Resort, and Big Red, and Allure Dance searches the field spell. If you don't even open Allure Dance, then you still have the field spell, so that's 3 spells, right? Yeah, go ahead and search. Yeah, the rescue. So, you know, you can kind of skip to the end of the video if that's all you want to see. Like, how do these cards do what they do? But if you also want to see my silly combo, then go ahead. I mean, this is technically new. I don't think I've shown a video on this, but it's not, like, special. It's probably not even better than, like, just searching anti-spell fragrance with Curious or something, but, you know, it's neat. Also a Master Plan. And you get your Assault Mission. And now we go into our boy, Double Helix. I'm sure at this point, you know, hit the 2 times play speed, get this going a little faster. If you're like in a game, I'd probably be, you know, playing a little quicker, speeding through it so I don't waste timer. But another nice thing about the Allure Queens is they don't use extra deck. They don't use up much of your timer. Like that little sequence is very fast to execute if you're actually playing at a reasonable pace and not trying to describe everything that I'm doing like I am right now. Call a monster. Yeah, this is a really funny little jank combo I've been doing. And you go and get your Last Resort. Go ahead and link off for the rabbit. So, as you saw in the main deck, or you might have noticed in the main deck, I'm running a Dia Bells payoff, and Silhouette Rabbit's kind of relevant because the way you get to it, as far as I can tell, like that may be the easiest way, besides just sending it off Curious. But you can't send it off, like, you need to access Baphomet to do the thing that, like, Chimera does to access Dia Bells. So I'm going to do that in a funnier way than Chimera does by accessing Proxy F Magician, one of the goofiest cards ever made. Here's my Master Plan. Activate. Get another mission. Go ahead and use Dullahan here. Doesn't matter who you target. The sequencing of this doesn't matter too much, I don't think. Just... and you go to Proxy F Magician. And you can make Baphomet using a Fiend and an Illusion. And Silhouette Rabbit is the best illusion because it also comes equipped with a another interaction with the trap card, the Azure trap card, which is very fun. Now we're going to go ahead and send Diabels. Then we're going to summon Chirozzo because it's very funny. Actually, I think the most efficient way to do this is quick fix, discard, whatever. You know, you can discard the extra big red you search throughout the combo. And you'd go Link Karibo. That's just like the most efficient material usage. I'm just going to do this to make Chirozzo. You do not have to do this. This is just me being silly. I was like, hey, I can throw an Omni to get on this board with Chirozzo now. Neat. Ta-da. At this point, all you have to do is make Little Knight. Little Knight effect. And the Little Knight effect can banish your Diabels. Now, to get the full board, what you would normally do is activate your last rescue mission, summon it, and turn Proxy F Magician plus Double Helix into Appaloosa. So you get a 2-mana Appaloosa, and then all the other stuff I'm going to show you. But there's one more funny thing that Allure Dance does. And you could have done this earlier in the combo, but you can send any any spell card and summon back every single Allure Queen. It is just Soul Charge. It's Soul Charge every turn. It's just plus 3 bodies. And so when you do it this way, you can save your rescue mission and make a format Appaloosa. Why not? And then, you know, get rid of your ancillary cards you don't need. This is just me being silly, you know. And the way this works, if you're actually going to do the exact combo I'm doing here, is on your opponent's turn, during the standby phase, or during the draw phase, really, you activate Baphomet, the same way Chimera does. You summon back your Diabels from exile. There's no way they can, like, DD Crow this or call by this. It's just not... It's in the exile. There's very little that interacts with this. You have to, like, Lancia or something. I don't know. And at that point, your opponent can't play spell cards, and you have an Omni Negate and a pop for if they set a spell card. And in this particular instance, didn't I open up with a Super Agent? Yeah, so this is something that I do in the regular version of the deck with Snake Eyes and stuff, is I set up a Super Agent plus a Rescue Mission so I can pop their back row before having to use up Diabel. But, you know, we'll just pass. Yeah, and let this guy attack me, because that's what Mark Buck does. It's very funny. And then instead of Diabel's activation, you would Rescue Mission, summon back Super Agent. So functionally, you're turning your your extra Rescue Mission and your Super Agent into a Spell Negate, because you just pop the first one they set. And then Diabels can pop the next one they set. And then you can just activate the Azure Rune just now that you have the field space ready. You basically save this until you use up your stuff like this, but yeah. And then you can pop the next one they set, because you have Sleeper. So while it's not technically anti-spell fragrance, because they can still flip them over, like if the deck has if a deck has six spell cards in the end, you know, you only have 3 pops and an Omni Negate, then they could have 2 left. But I'm not worried about that. Anyhow, let's get back to the breakdown. I'll show you like different variants of the deck that I think are more intriguing or exciting to experiment with. Alright, so here we are back with the deck. So like I said, that combo is not the Allure Queen combo. The Allure Queen cards do not rely on anything in the extra deck you are not already running. You're already running a Link to that discards. You're already running Celine. Like, the Allure Queens are completely extra deck agnostic. The only thing that they might have to do with the extra deck is you might want to throw in like Golden Allure Queen because it's cute, but this is really hard to summon 3 Spellcaster monsters. This card's kind of neat because like it lets you use the Allure Queen's like relinquished effect as quick effects, trying to make them relevant again. It also comes with like a pop. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a card, you can destroy 1 card in the field. Also, your Allure Queen monsters can't be destroyed by card effects, which is kind of funny. So this is just a pop, which actually goes really well with the Diabel stuff, but you already have enough pops. I wouldn't really worry about that too much. Not super relevant. But yeah. Aside from that, the main thing I want to say is if you're gonna build an Allure Queen shell, an Allure Queen combo engine like this, I would highly recommend trying out the triple cards. You know, thrust and then one talents, obviously, if you're running thrust. The main reason is Foolish Burial Goods is full combo now, right? In the past, this was kind of like a fringe playable card for Spyral because you could send the missions, so it could be like a Monster Reborn or a kind of a double summon by sending Assault. So it had like versatility as like a better Monster Reborn. But now it sends Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge adds you +1 card for discards and Allure Palace, which is even better than just hard drawing Allure Palace, actually, because you get a free card to discard. It's insane. So this is actually the best card in your deck now, which is funny because they limited it because of tier limits, and now the reason they limited it is not legal anymore because they banned Perla Rhino. Also, they banned terraforming and set rotation. Actually, I don't think set rotation was ever legal in Master Duel despite not being banned in either paper formats, which is very weird. I would love to have those cards back in the format, but we're suffering for tiers since. But this is kind of like a shell, right? This is the basic idea. One thing I would like to show you is this. Now that we have access to these cards and Rainbow Bridge is full combo, this opens up the door for other kind of engines that can become full combo for us. So one I kind of hastily shoved together in the skeleton of the previous deck is Millennium. So Millennium's largely known for the the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith stuff, where it puts cards in the spell and trap zone for Doom Dragon, and it gets to the Fiendsmith line and blah blah blah. But Beatrice is banned now, so who cares? But it also makes Curious, and since Rainbow Bridge is now full combo, Curious is full combo. So you can access Curious via Siginjin and the Golem. Both get to Curious by themselves. If you draw the Temple, that gets you to 2/3 of a Curious, and then you just need a Super Agent or a Quick Fix, or you could even normal summon a Max C. Any of those, I believe, will make a Curious at that point, very funnily. But yeah, so you make Curious. Curious sends Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge, you would chain it so you don't accidentally draw your mill your Eagle and add Allure Palace and Eagle, and that's full combo. Unless you accidentally Curious mill your Chaos Allure Queen. But that's just kind of something you did live with, because you'd have a full Curious, like you'd have a Link 3, you'd have a Field Spell, and you'd probably be okay. Now, the downside of this is, like you see, I had to fit the Millennium cards and their subsequent, like, pseudo bricks. These aren't complete bricks, but they're a little bricky. I had to cut a couple of copies of Souls, which does make the Rainbow Bridge better, but the Millennium stuff makes the Rainbow Bridge better. If you draw Millennium plus Rainbow Bridge, you can just summon 2 bodies, discard it with Nightmare Goblin. So, even though I'm cutting Souls to add these cards, it's still good with Rainbow Bridge in the same way. And if you draw a rescue mission, you could send a master plan and discard it. You know, there's a million things you can do. These cards are very versatile because they make a ton of link material, right? And that lets you do stuff. Another interesting idea is I've dubbed this one 7/7/7s because these cards play kind of well with Kashtira. Now, the Kashtira cards don't add any like combo potential to this, but aside from the fact that, you know, special summon Unicorn, normal summon master plan is a thing, but the kind of field spell centric approach we're taking, where we're trying to access the field spells to Rainbow Bridge and Foolish Burial Goods and stuff like that, lets you then turn this engine into like a going second shell. So you can, like, you know, Rainbow Bridge add Wraithsoth add Fenrir add Unicorn, right? You have all these bodies that are good going second and can maybe force your opponent's effects before you commit to combo. And also the Kashtira cards are just generically good, right? We all know this. If you can justify playing them, they're fine. It would be hard to fit the thrust and talent package into here, but you could like maybe cut down on droplets. I really obviously like droplets in this build because droplets in Rainbow Bridge is such a blowout. It's so powerful. Adjust the deck as you see fit, right? I'm probably going to be rolling out with the one I showed you before. I'm going to be like messing around with this one before I try the Millennium stuff, just to, you know, get my teeth into the deck. Now, before you start going, oh my god, Spyral Tier 0 again, it's the greatest deck of all time, they gave Master Plan an emergency teleport. It's not perfect, right? It is very card minus. You have to discard cards to add bad cards to your hand. That said, Spyral's always played well with discard engines. We like dangers and such. And the other downside is, like, it's kind of susceptible to every hand trap, right? They Ghost Ogre your Allure Palace, doesn't work. They Ash Blossom your E-Telly for Master Plan, Doesn't work. They bestial the name in the graveyard that you sent off Chaos Allure Queen. Doesn't work. You know, the DD Crow for the same reason. Doesn't work. But it's a push, right? It's kind of like how saying, oh, 1-for-1's bad because if they imperm your quick fix that you special summon off 1-for-1, you don't combo. Well, you had to play through that hand trap anyhow, so these give you a lot more capability to push through hand traps, and it gives you just a ton of one-card combos, right? Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 one-card combos, and then kind of, sort of, you know, 3 more pseudo, like it's really easy to get this in the graveyard to full combo, you know, like 10 functional starters, plus like other, you know, once you start throwing in the thrust stuff, you know, it gets even better. It makes your max Cs better because now you have more powerful cards to draw towards, etc., etc. Anyhow, that's the gist of the deck. And like I said, any combo you've ever seen me done that doesn't need a ton of extra deck, a ton of main deck space, like you probably couldn't do the Makanko stuff with this for obvious reasons because that was a really tight deck, main deck. But any extra deck based combo that you've seen me do, whether it's like Curious and Anti-Spell, then set it with Nightmare Griffin or any other dumb, like the World FTK would be great here because you can like go through Ancient Fairy Dragon stuff, which is even like, Ancient Fairy Dragon stuff would be good in this deck because Ancient Fairy Dragon can search Allure Palace, right? So like it's another whole, that's like another whole avenue I haven't even explored yet. Maybe like we go back to Destrudo and Dragon Ravine shenanigans, if and Dangers, like that might be good. I don't know. This card is so powerful and it opens up so much and it makes this silly card insanely busted in the deck that we just have so many options now. Anyhow, everyone, hope you enjoyed. Probably actually might stream again now that we've got something that isn't Snake Eye. Oh man, speaking of Snake Eye, maybe I could make a Snake Eye version of this deck. Like, if you think about it, like how many cards would I need in Snake Eye to run this? I'm like trying to come off the top of my head here. Like I don't even have the Snake Eye cards saved. Right, like, you know, you'd have to run Flamberge, Diabell Star, Poplar, at least one of this, 5, 6, and then you need 3 Diabell Star for 9 and Wanted for 10 cards minimum. So could I cut 10 cards out of this deck and run? That might be it. And run a Snake Eye engine. I probably could. I probably like just don't play this. Right, if I'm not playing that, I'm not playing that. I could like maybe squeeze out maybe just 1 droplets or something. You know, you could make it work. You can make it work. I promise you. Like you could squeeze that Snake Eye engine in here real easy, and it would go hard. Anyhow, everyone, that's just. Yeah, sorry for like making the video go long. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked watching it. I'm gonna try streaming next week just to mess with the Allure Queen stuff and show people how you play it more. You know, in more tenuous situations rather than in a sterile environment against a bot. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.